Hi, welcome to 2024. I know I promised that I wouldn't talk about non-keyboard related stuff in the intro, but man, it's only been a couple of days into the year and there have been some crazy stuff happening already. But to get back on topic, there was some good news and some bad news that got announced during my little year-end break. The bad news is that Kanata Keys officially seems to be dead in the water. They were already having signs of this, which I had previously talked about when Milky Way Keys started having issues with John, the owner of Kanata Keys, who also acted as an organizer for Milky Way Keys group buys. John did eventually resurface and talked a bit on his Discord, and I believe might have fulfilled some more orders, but then fell off the grid again. If you are someone who has outstanding products that were purchased from Kanata Keys, you will probably want to get a chargeback since it's looking like another vendor has decided to pull an exit scam. Sorry for being the bearer of bad news. Regarding the good news, Hoffmanmeister and his wife decided to step in and help those who had bought GMK Sumi from Project Keyboard. If you aren't aware, Project Keyboard was another vendor who decided to run away with people's money, and as a result, there were several sets that were put at risk. Novel Keys was able to step in for some of the sets with unpaid invoices, but for GMK Sumi, it was already paid for and sitting in a warehouse, so Novel Keys wasn't able to do anything. Hoffmanmeister has graciously agreed to purchase the inventory for GMK Sumi and ship it out to those who had bought a set, but never received it, nor successfully issued a chargeback. Unfortunately, it can't be done for free as Hoffmanmeister had to pay a large amount of money out of pocket for the stock, but the pricing is very low at just $25 for the base kit, $13 for the Hiragana kit, and $10 for the novelties kit, just to name a few, so I would say that is very fair. Now, of course, there is still some risk with taking on this agreement. Unlike Novel Keys, Hoffmanmeister is just one person, though he does have a good track record and has rescued other failed group buys, so I am more inclined to trust him than not. However, if you feel like you just want to wash your hands clean of this whole debacle, and you've been burned enough times, you don't have to participate. If you do decide to claim your set, all you have to do is send an email to gmk.sumi.salvage@gmail.com with a complete screenshot of the order, and when they are able to process the order, they will generate a PayPal invoice and send it to you. Once you confirm the items as well as the shipping address and pay the invoice, the items will be shipped to you via the address in your PayPal. Even though all these vendors bailing on their customers has been a terrible situation, it has been nice to see that there are still vendors and individuals who care and are willing to help the community. Of course, it would have been better if these vendors were honest and responsible with people's monies and trust in the first place, but I'm glad to see a generally positive solution in the end. Anyways, without further ado, MV Synth is a set inspired by music synthesizers. I don't know much about music synthesizers or music production, so I won't talk about it like I'm some expert. However, I will say that I do like how the set looks, and I think that the metal artisan and knob are very cool. The set is also pretty extensive, and should provide pretty good coverage for most keyboards. At $80, it's not a bad price either since it includes all those keys, so I think that it's a pretty attractive buy. I haven't heard too much about MV keycaps though, and I know that for the first round of the terminal keycaps, which were branded as QPBT terminal at the time, they did have some issues with alignment and color. I haven't heard too much about MV Terminal R2, so you might want to do some research on your own to decide if you do want to join the group buy. Overall, I do really like MV Synth, and if the quality is good, I think it'll be a really cool set. DMK Mirror Image is a simple concept, but one that has never really been done before, at least to my knowledge. There are a ton of kits that are available for this group buy, which is pretty crazy, but it will hopefully allow folks to get the setup that they want, from black and white, to color, and right alignment or left alignment. It's a wacky set and one that is definitely unique, but unfortunately just not for me. It's probably just because I've never actually wanted a mirror image set, and though I am someone who really likes sets and keyboards that are unique, for some reason, this one just doesn't appeal to me. I do think that if you are someone who bought the reflection keyboard, this set would be perfect for it because of the theme, and would make a really pretty pairing. While DMK Mirror Image isn't the set for me, if you're looking for something unique, I think that this is a set you should definitely take a look at. Line is a popular messaging app in parts of Asia, and while I've never been a big user of the app, the Line Friends keycaps are very cute. I won't speak on the accuracy of the theme because I don't really know anything about it, but I do think that it's a perfect set for you if you had also bought the Line Friends keyboard. $100 is actually okay as well for the price since it's a set of 195 PBT keycaps, but then again, I'm not really sure about the quality since they aren't manufactured by one of the larger ones in the hobby, and will be manufactured by Minnow Keys themselves according to the product page. Based on their website, I believe that this might be their first in-house set, so there will be some risk since there isn't much history there. The keycaps are also region locked to the US and Canada due to licensing issues, so if you live outside those two countries, you're going to have to find a proxy or have a friend ship them to you. Ultimately, I do like the design of the Line Friends keycaps, but there are a lot of questions and uncertainties for this set. If you've done your research and are willing to accept the risks, then I think that this is a really cute set with a lot of potential. WS Cafe is a revival of the popular GMK Cafe, a set inspired by coffee. I remember back in the day when the hobby was at its peak, GMK Cafe was selling for multiple times its original MSRP, even when they were used and shined, so they were pretty hard to get. While these keycaps aren't made by GMK, it's always great to see a return of the classic, and I've heard really good things about Lucha Studios keycap sets. $80 for 192 double shot PBT keycaps is also a pretty good deal in my book, and offers really good layout support. So if you've been dying to get your hands on a set of GMK Cafe, this might be your next best bet. I think compared to keycaps nowadays, the theme is quite simplistic in comparison, but then again, I feel like GMK Cafe is one of those timeless classics and just looks extremely clean. There have been several coffee related sets since the original release of GMK Cafe, but I feel like this set still stands on top. If you are a coffee addict or a person who has been waiting to get their hands on GMK Cafe, I think that WS Cafe might be the set for you. I really like what Corkies has done to make the hobby more affordable, and they've released some awesome boards at great prices, but I have to be honest and say that I'm not the biggest fan of the QK65 V2. I have bought the original QK65, and in fact I have several of them because I liked how clean they looked, and of course the value they offered. So yes, I do have some personal biases. But this is the My Thoughts section, and you're watching this part of the video to hear what I think of keycaps and keyboards going on sale, so I'm going to talk about how I feel about the keyboard. While I don't think that it looks bad, I do think that it's a little over-designed. I get why they added the LCD screen as well as the lighting elements because they are popular features, and I think it's awesome how they're able to still keep the price relatively low. They probably got bored of the original QK65, which is why they took it off market and decided to do a redesign. But at the same time, I wish that they didn't follow the pressure of adding a screen and all, because I think that it just makes the keyboard look messier. I know that it might sound hypocritical as LCD screens and lighting elements have been features that I've promoted on other keyboards before. However, those keyboards didn't have an R1 version like the QK65, which I feel like is one of the best budget custom keyboards of all time. I still think that the QK65 V2 is a great buy, and in fact perhaps a better buy than the original QK65 if you look at the amount of features that they were able to pack into the board, such as the screen, the lighting, the badges, as well as improvements to the structure. In fact, I think they'll probably sell a ton of units, and I sincerely hope that it'll be a great success. However, I kinda wish that they released a simpler and cleaner version for people like me. Though, maybe that's what the Neo brand is for. Speaking of clean and simple, the Neo 80 is also on sale. It's a pretty straightforward, no-frills keyboard, where the biggest design element is the Orbit logo on the top of the keyboard, as well as the weight. It's not a flashy keyboard, and it's pretty low-key, so if you're looking for something to make your desk setup stand out, it's probably not for you. However, if you are someone looking for something more minimalistic and relatively budget for the custom keyboard hobby, the Neo 80 is one worth considering.